All right, so in the next characteristics for rational functions, we're going to take a look at vertical asymptotes and holes. So a vertical asymptote is in the equation in the form of a x equals some number. It's a value, basically taking a look at this, kind of like what we were looking at before in our graphs on the previous one. It's these values where essentially we have this like line right here that this function does not approach. That ends up being a vertical asymptote. So as an example for b, vertical asymptotes would be x equals -2 and x equals 1/3. It ends up being so vertical asymptotes occur where the denominator would be 0 after simplifying. So this paragraph right here is very, very important. Okay. It's important that we know that the vertical asymptotes only come when it is after simplifying. Holes, when you factor the denominator and the numerator completely, cancel out any common factors between the numerator and the denominator. So any common factor, set that equal to 0 and solve. That's the x coordinate of the hole. Substitute that back into and this is the other important part, you're going to use the reduced function when finding the y value of your hole. And then lastly, you are then going to plot the hole. So if you look, the hole is this open circle on the graph. Okay, so we want to find any vertical asymptotes and any holes in the graph. So what we want to do first is factor the numerator and factor the denominator. So let's do that right now. Okay, so we factored the numerator, we factored the denominator. So we want to find any vertical asymptotes and any holes. To find that, we need to start the process of simplifying. So we're going to cross out this x plus 2. However, we're going to do that x plus 2, we're going to set it equal to 0. So we end up with x equals -2. That is the x value of your hole. Your vertical asymptotes are setting anything in the denominator equal to 0 after simplifying, as in anything that's not crossed out. So your vertical asymptote is x equals 3. To find the y value, coming back to your hole, to find the y value, you are going to plug in the -2 into the part of the equation, or the remaining part of the equation, that you haven't crossed out yet. Okay, so we end up with 2 times -4 all over -5. So this ends up being 8/5 is what we end up with here when we plug in that value. All right, so that ends up being that particular value. So let's take a look at the next problem, which again, we need to factor the numerator. That factors as x plus 4 and x minus 3 all over your x plus 3. So here's the thing. If nothing crosses out, then you don't have any holes. So if nothing crosses out, then you don't have a hole. Your vertical asymptote, though, is always setting what's left in the denominator after simplifying equal to 0. So if nothing can be simplified, then it's whatever is in your denominator set equal to 0 is your vertical asymptote. There we go. So that's it.